What's up guys, RC Hobby Steve. In today's video I'm going to be going over my custom axial Scx10 hardbody Jeep here. Now today's video is going to recap basically what I have done to it. It started off as the Scx10 2017 Jeep Wrangler truck, and then I converted it to a hardbody Jeep Wrangler. So we're going to start off with the exterior and then work our way onto the interior of the truck. So the body was bought from eBay. My wife got this for me. Has it been a year already, babe? About a year, right? So I would say about a year ago. I've had this for a year and a couple months. She got this for me for Christmas, and it wasn't originally this color. It started off as just a plain white body in pieces where I had to paint it and screw most of the stuff in. And it's gone through probably, I would say, 5 different colors that I've painted this body.
You can officially say it looks like a jawbreaker.
Like a what?
A jawbreaker?
My wife says that I can officially say it looks like a jawbreaker.
Yeah, like if you were to cut into it, like not like remove the paint.
Oh yeah, and yeah, I hear you. So yeah, couple days or weeks back, our friend decided to paint it red. I think I had it red before. I think I just went with a different kind of red, and it caught my eye. Now that I have some things that I've done to it, I kind of like where it is now. The reason I mostly had painted it a new color again was because the old color had a lot of deep scratches in it, so I had to do some body work to the body itself just to remove some scratches. And of course I have one right here because I just don't know how to drive when I'm on the trails, sadly. But as you can see, the body doesn't sport the original fenders anymore. This does come with plastic fenders that are removable, just like the Lexan body does. I ended up fabbing up some fenders of my own with some aluminum and some flat sheet metal. To do the welding process, I ended up brazing the aluminum pieces together with a map gas torch kit that I bought from Lowe's. You can get the kit for, I think it's like 54 bucks at Lowe's, which is not bad to start you off brazing. It does the job. This piece bent on me a couple days back on the trail, but I was able to fix it. I just need to repaint this side black, and then it'll be fine. And it hit so hard on a rock that it bent the metal plate, so I have to remove this and bend this back. But I mean, for my first time brazing, I feel like I did a pretty good job. I also managed to do a rear bumper, which still needs to be screwed in because it's not screwed in completely, but the rear bumper came out pretty good. The doors on this body does open and close. It's just the 2 front doors, but because of how many times this body has rolled out on the trails, the piece that locks the door has broken off on both sides, so I had to glue the doors shut. This isn't the body model that has the rear doors that open. This is like I think this is from Deadlock Racing. He makes these hard bodies to perfectly fit the Scx10 kit truck. So that's what I have in here. I have that kind of transmission in here. So yeah, I don't remember the price of the body, but I know you can find them for close to $100 on eBay. There's different versions that have different pieces. Like this version is version 3. I don't know what's the difference from version 3 to version 2, but when my wife got this for me, it said version 3 on the paperwork. So yeah, some minor details on the inside. I have a driver and a passenger, of course, and some scale accessories in the trunk. And I do have some lights on this in the front and the rear. So the lights I'm using is from a company called Lit LED. The guy that makes the lights is a great guy. He has awesome customer service. If you ever have the chance, go on Facebook and search up Lit LED. I will have the Facebook link down in the description so you can search him out. His lights are really affordable, and they all run on 12 volts. Most of them you can get for 6 volts if you don't have a 3S battery that will be able to power these lights. They're really bright. I would show you guys at the end of the video the truck with the lights on. Just won't do it now because it's a hassle to plug everything in right now, so I'll do it towards the end. For wheels and tires, I am using Proline BF Goodrich mud terrains. These are the KM3s. This truck used to use the TA crawler tires at first, so these are the TA crawlers, also Proline BF Goodrich tires. But I wanted something a little bit more scale, and then when Proline came out with these, I was like, yep, gotta have them. So I've been using these ever since and haven't had a problem at all. Great tire when they're wet, great tire in the dirt, the mud, of course, it works well. Snow, not so much. Kind of lose a lot of traction, especially in the soft stuff. In the hard stuff, not so much. It kind of does good, but this is the kind of tire you probably want to do in the soft snow and the hard snow, especially with the kind of foams that these Proline tires come with. Snow is like a hit and miss with these tires. As for wheels, I got these off of eBay. I will leave the link to these wheels in the description as well. They're about like 40 bucks, I would say. You can find them as cheap as 30 bucks. And they're pretty good. I believe I have, yep, I have another design here on my Hyrax. These are a different design. Same company, I think it's called Endura, and they mount with 5 screws in the back. When you first get them, all these screws that sit on the front bead are off, so you would have to screw them all in. But to remove the entire wheel, you just take out these 5 screws and pop out the front, and the rear comes out as well. So it's pretty convenient, especially when you need to fix something. All you have to do is really take off the hub, and the entire wheel comes out, and you can fix the truck and then just put everything back in. So it's pretty convenient. And that's pretty much it for the exterior. I don't really have much going on that I need to talk about. So I'll crack open the body and I'll show you what I have on the inside. It's not the same as any other Scx10 would look. Especially for how heavy this truck is, you'll see why the truck is so heavy when I take the body off. Okay, and so now we are on to the inside of my Scx10. As you can see, this definitely does not look like your standard Scx10. Probably when I remove the body and show somebody else, they wouldn't even recognize it unless they see the transmission and where the servo sits. Basically, that's the only way you'll realize this is an Scx10. So I would start with electronics. I am running a Mamba X ESC with Castle's Slate motor meant for rock crawlers. This is a 3800 kV brushless censored motor. I know the kV is pretty high for a crawler. I wanted something that would have enough wheel speed to catch up with how fast I walk, but also something that's going to have enough torque where I have it geared down so that I can drive slow enough to crawl over the rocks but still have some speed to get over certain things. So this setup for me works, whereas for somebody else it probably wouldn't work, where something much lower kV would be better for a truck like this. Of course, I am running the Scx10 kit transmission. This is a 2-speed transmission. I don't have the 2-speed gears in it. I'm not a big fan of 2-speed, so I kept the regular stock gears in it. It's been running good. The only gears I've blown out so far are the ones in the transfer case down here, which are the 2 drive gears that come in the transmission. They've both shattered on me twice, and my friend was able to hook me up with some hot racing gears, hardened steel, and the truck's been running great ever since. For my receiver, I am running a Spectrum receiver, all waterproofed out by me, and this is the remote I use. It's a Spectrum DX4C. this battery lasts me months on months on the same batteries. I probably have to change it out now because my voltage is almost at the point where the remote won't let me use it anymore unless I change the batteries. I'm all about scale, so I don't like seeing wires when I'm driving, or especially when I'm recording. I don't like seeing wires poking out here and there. I like to have the truck as clean as possible, so I use some aluminum sheet to make some inner fenders, so that way I can cover up as much as I could of the inside chassis. Also, when I'm driving through mud or snow, it does a really good job of keeping the inside clean enough so that all I have to clean is the tires and just the panels when I come back home. As for rock sliders, I used to have this bench in the past, and this piece you see right here is what I used for the rock sliders. Back where my wife is at right now, when I had that table as my workbench, I used the extra pieces to this table as some parts to my truck, so it fit perfectly. As you saw on the body, I was able to bend this piece just so it curves underneath the body, so it looks like it's meant to be part of the body. So that's kind of worked out good. It is I think it's aluminum. It is rusting a lot, so I'm gonna have to hit it with some, like, take out all this old paint and probably hit it with some Rust-Oleum spray, so that way when I'm driving through water it just doesn't get any rust anymore, because it does look really beat up on that side, and this side it still looks pretty good. The body is held on with Velcro on the front, and then the magnets that it came with in the rear. And then for shocks, I'm still running the axial shocks, the Icon shocks, but the only thing that's different is my springs. The front springs are from a TRX4 kit, and the rear are from a hot racing shock that I used to have. This is extra firm in the rear, and then this is slight firm in the front. So there's a significant droop in the front. So it articulates pretty good in the front, and the rear it's pretty stiff. I have to have it really stiff in the rear because of how heavy the back of the body is, so it doesn't squat all the way down, and it's kind of balanced. It's really balanced the way I have it set up. You'd be surprised. And this is more built to trail. I don't have this to go driving in a course or anything like that. I have driven it at TNT Hobbies down by where I live on their course. It does perfectly fine, but of course for how heavy this truck is and where the weight is distributed, sometimes it flops back, or sometimes it just can't get over certain obstacles as easy as a lightweight rig would. So that's the only downfall of this truck. I mainly built it for trail runs, not for like crazy rock crawling. Although it does really well on the rocks. For a servo, I am running a Savox waterproof servo. I do not. This is the SW0231MG, I believe it's what it says. So this is the waterproof. It's a 6.0 volt servo. It's not a high voltage, so it does the job here and there. I don't need that much of a strong servo for this truck. It just does the job. I've been running this servo for years, and every crawler I've had, and it hasn't let me down so far. Including that it's waterproof, it does the job for me. Alright, so on the other side of the truck, show you guys that. Of course, standard AR60 axles, front and rear. For links, I am running hot racing links. It's missing the spacers. I ended up losing the spacers somehow when I started doing some swaps here and there. But yeah, so this is the underbelly of my truck. Obviously, screws, different screws I'm using everywhere. Some screws are missing. Drive shaft, obviously really close, but this is what works for me. Truck drives really smooth. Like, I'm just barely putting any pressure, and it just moves so smooth. For the front, I'm sporting Hot Racing brass knuckles on both sides, obviously, and these are the stock steering link and drag link, and a custom panhard link that I have there, because this came off of a different truck and I placed it on this truck. So yeah, I believe I covered the entire truck. Right now I'm just gonna plug in the lights for you and show you that, and then we'll just recap everything I spoke about. Alright, so here's the truck with the lights on. I used to have the Proline light bar on the top, but right now I have it on my YJ here, as you can see. I've had that light bar for 3 years now. It's been through like 4 trucks. But yeah, so I bought a wireless controller that he sells. Here's the original packaging. I have an extra one, so this is what it comes in. So it's pretty good. I do not have his business card sitting around anywhere. I wish I did. Probably do. Just give me 1 second just to check some stuff out. Make sure I don't have one laying around. Yeah, I don't have one laying around. But yeah, anyways. Manny, he's a great guy. Has these awesome lights. That's the brightest it goes. It may not look that bright in camera, but when you go outside and take this thing out in the dark, forget it. It lights up everything. There's 3 settings: 100, 50, 25, and I can even bring it lower than that. And then it has different modes. And then obviously I have rear lights too. I have to paint them red again because I took off the red shading on it, but I can change the speeds as well. So for the price I pay, not bad. Does the job. The lights don't burn out the 3S battery that I have sitting inside of it. This will last all day if I decided to keep it on. So yeah, he's someone that if you're looking into lights, instead of buying those cheap light kits on Amazon that barely brighten up anything, if you really want to go trailing with friends out at night, I would suggest hitting him up and purchasing his lights. He sells different styles. The ones I have in my Jeep right now look like these. This is I believe a yellow headlight that I wanted white, so he hooked me up with the white ones. But it's this style right here. There we go. So all you have to do, they come separate. All you have to do is wire them. These I have to fix because I had it in this truck, and I had like some whack light controller that I had to fix up just so it worked with this truck. But yeah, very, very high quality lights. So definitely check them out for your lighting needs. So yeah, guys, sorry for the really long video. There's like 20-minute video, but a lot of people are asking me to do an overview of my JK. So there it is. If you do have any questions about this truck, be sure to ask me. Leave any comments down below. And if I forget to leave anything in the description that I mentioned, just go ahead and tell me in the comments. Remind me, and I'll definitely get that information out for you. Thanks again for watching. Next video, I have something amazing that I purchased. So be on the lookout for that video. You guys are going to be amazed. Peace.